Hey guys, and welcome to my new YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be ranking the Next Step seasons from the best to the worst in my opinion. Please no hate for anything I say. This is all my opinion. So you do not have to agree with me or you can disagree with me. That does not bother me. It's just my own opinion that I am sharing with you. Please like and subscribe because that's really going to help out this channel. I'm very new, and if you would like, you'll be seeing some other Next Step content. So all those Next Step fans, please give that a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. So first, I am going to be placing Season 1 as the best, and here are my reasons why. So the whole season contained a lot of different backdrops, so like different settings. So we saw the dancers at the park, the school, Elite, the beach, the mall. My next reason is that every character had a different role and part in it. So, for example, Emily and the E-Girls. There's Michelle trying to steal Dan's captain. There was Daniel hiding his injury. Jiley, the beginning of Jiley. Then we had James who had struggle with his homework and math. Wes being still on Seeds and the Next Step. And Chloe having some money troubles. So overall, everyone had a nice part in the whole season. It wasn't just focused on one main character. Next up, I really like, again, the storyline, the plot of the whole thing. The plot was changing. So first, it started with Emily being dance captain, Michelle being new, and then Michelle trying to take over, and then Emily leaving to go to Elite, and then coming back. And the Michelle and Eldon and Emily love triangle, all that was made the show very interesting. The season 1 had a really realistic storyline. So, the dancers, we saw them walk into the studio, walk out, some stuff that normally happens, with regular teenagers around that age. So they're realistic. One thing I also really liked is that Kate and Chris were very connected with the dancers and very involved with their lives. As we talk about into the later seasons, it's so oriented on just what the dancers, and Kate's not really there in the picture anymore. The whole team seemed like one big nice family, which was nice because they were all connected. It wasn't cliquey, groupy. And the last thing is that everyone had a decent amount of screen time for every single character, so there wasn't one person getting the whole spotlight and the other people just trailing back. Everyone had a good range and were very good participated in the seasons. The things I do not like about it was I can't really think of any. There's some episodes that I don't really like. They're not my favorite. I think they were unnecessary a little bit. But overall, I really like the whole season. Okay, so next up in second place, I have Season 6. Season 6 is one of just my personal favorite seasons overall in general, but I'll give you some reasons why. So I really like all the music and the dances that were used in this specific season. I really like the collaboration with Emily and Michelle being co-studio heads, and they had good screen time and lines. I really liked the convention, how they were hosting a dance convention with Ditto and a bunch of Luther Brown, a bunch of big stars coming into the Next Step. That was really a good, three seasons spread out. It was really fun to watch. I liked how the new age troopers with Kenzie, Finn, and Summer, they really blended in well with the old ones. They all connected and felt like a family. Then I like how all the characters had depth. I like how they addressed things that were more for the older viewers. The season grew as with the viewers. So some storylines I liked was how Piper had anxiety and without fear of not making the aerial. I really like how Noah was debating to move on, like stay at the studio or move on. How Rochelle could have been potentially leaving because she has been on this show for a really long time, just as long as Noah. And Michelle thinking of leaving too, which was that was good. Those are some storylines I really liked. And last one, I really liked Noah's storyline in season 6 overall because how we saw him grow from J Troop all the way up to being internationals, and then him reliving it and stuff, and then him potentially leaving. Well, him leaving and then coming back, and then now potentially leaving at the end of the season. So 3 things that I didn't really like is how Rochelle's injury just disappeared. Like, we don't really know much about what happened. Of course, she didn't break her hip, so it wouldn't take that long. But still, her injury just disappeared, so no one really knows what happened to it. Another thing is that Noah's and Jackie's breakup was unnecessary. I don't think it was necessary to keep it. Like, Jackie could have stayed at the studio. Noah could have went off. They still could have been together. It was all good. I don't know why they needed to break up, but again, that's my opinion. And Noah's and relationship with Rochelle kind of came out of nowhere when they're doing the pas de deux for regionals. They barely interacted during the other episodes of the season, except for that single one. Like, maybe they could have built it up a few seasons before, episodes before, saying how they're connecting again, thinking of old times and stuff. But it just really came out of nowhere, so it was kind of a bit weird. But anyways, that's season 6 is in second place, and it is personally one of my favorites. So next up on the chart, we have season 2. And the reason why I put season 2 up here is that it also has a lot of backdrops and settings, like the mall, parkour alley, the trio competition. I really like the Beth James triangle, Beth James Riley triangle. It fitted in with the storyline really well. The characters that from the challenge blended in really nicely with the regular A Trooper. There's no division. In season 3, it felt very divided with the elite members and the next step members, but they came in together very nicely. There's a good consistency because Daniel's injury had been carried out into season 2, and Kate wanted Daniel just to rest it, which is something that's normal. But one thing is that Kate overlooked and babied him a little bit with his injury, but it still made it an issue. And we saw B Troop and J Troop in it frequently, which made the show not boring and makes it more of a well-rounded show. There was a few unexpected storylines, Stephanie and Tiffany getting kicked off. That kind of came out of nowhere. Something else is that Amanda had a good plot of being a double agent because no one suspected it, and it worked really well because Emily and Riley tried to kick her out, but it wasn't working. She was one step ahead of them. And then when she revealed being on Elite, then the whole team didn't trust her anymore, and then she came back for regionals and won it. But the storyline of Amanda, that was a very good storyline in season 2. One thing is that Beth wasn't shown as the bad guy. Even though she had a thing with James and kissed James and cheated on James while he was dating Riley, but I like how in the end Beth helped James out to win back Riley, so to show her that she was just a bad character. She also put her feelings aside because she loves James, obviously, but James does not love her. 2 things that was bothered me a little bit was Eldon was very stupid in this season. He mistreated Michelle, ignoring her, and just over a dance battle, and he thought that the dance battle was a good reason to break up with her. That's not realistic. You don't break up with someone over a dance battle. And one other thing, there was a few weaker episodes in the season, but that weren't very necessary. But that is okay. Now, so next up, I am going to be putting season 3 in fourth place. My reasons why are because the dancers were at the peak ability, and they all had confidence. There's a nice mixture of A Troop, B Troop, and J Troop. James, I like the storylines for like when James was deciding between the band and dance. Riley was having trust issues because of what happened with Ella. Amanda needing to earn back her trust on the team. Michelle's parents going through a divorce. There's a good mixture of a lot of different things, and it was still realistic. And these things would happen, but they would happen more. It wasn't just like, like someone failing school. It was like grew with the audience. There was not just like one plot. It frequently changed on who it was focused on depending on what their problem was. I really liked how at the end it like started to establish the dancer's future. Like James had like the dance with a band. Chloe was staying or doing the ballet company. Emily didn't dance this season, so she had to think what she wanted to do instead of dance. It had a strong plot, and overall, the whole season ended on a high note. Two things that like were really not too good that I didn't like personally about this season was Max didn't really get a storyline in this season. Like he got a few lines and here and there and stuff, but he didn't really get like a big storyline really. Something else is that in the Chloe and Margie duet, when Chloe decides to leave the studio, Margie just disappears into glitter, and it seems like she was never of existence, like she was never there, and there's no explanation of why. Like it's not like her mom just like they could have got her mom just to come and pick her up, and she says bye to Chloe and stuff, but like she just floated off into midair. So that's why I think season 3 should be in the fourth place. In fifth place, I have put season 5. And the reason why I put season 5 in here is that I like how the continuity with seasons. I like how it wasn't the best season, but it also wasn't the worst season, I guess you could say. I liked how Miss Kate was back in the storyline and still had control, like deciding which team went to regional. Like still had control over the studio, and it wasn't just the studio heads. I wish she did that in season 4 of having more control over Riley. I like the video qualifier. You're keeping it fresh, but with keeping it fresh, make sure the storyline still makes sense. I like how Rochelle had more of a role. In season 4, she got overlooked. And in this season, she got like dance captain for a little bit for TNS East, and she made friends like Lola. And then lastly is like lesser known characters or the new characters were friends with the old characters, or the other way around. You can say it however you want. So like for example, like Piper was friends with Josh. Rochelle was friends with Lola. So a few things that I think were not too good in this season was they were repeating the same storyline a lot. Like Kingston failing school, James was failing math, Rochelle hiding an injury, like Daniel was hiding an injury, Noah was hiding an injury in season 4. Like Heather having money troubles, like that's similar to how Chloe had money troubles. Not the same concept, obviously, but somewhat along those lines. Next is like, I think when they found out that Elliot, like also known as William, was a professional dancer, TNS East could have still gone to regionals without him. Like they brought up that Michelle's team said that because Elliot disqualified all of them, but which doesn't make sense. Is that the whole team after that, the whole team went to regionals in season 6, and they went without him. and they said that he disqualified all of TNS East members, but like Rochelle, Lola, like all those people still went to regionals, which didn't make much sense. I think that having two A troops kind of brought the storyline like not there anymore. It wasn't really about the dancers. It was just about having two teams and Michelle and Emily feuding, just like back then in season 1 when they were feuding already for like dance captain and stuff like that. Season, yeah. So one thing is that I noticed like West said that he was gonna leave in season 4, like to travel more. He went to London, but then he came back and started choreographing for Michelle. Like, if you're gone, you're gone. Like, you don't get rewritten back into the script. So I think they should have brought in someone else to replace. And that's all I have for season 5. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, yeah, I guess it was okay. But also, one other thing is that Michelle wanted to start her own troupe, but I feel like it might have been a little bit cooler if Michelle just stayed on and brought back in her season 4 self, her rebellious self, because then that would be more interesting and like fighting with Emily more, I guess you could say. Like saying like you can't boss me around anymore and stuff like that. But overall, I guess it was a pretty decent season. Now, at the worst, I have season 4. I will not be ranking season 7 in this episode, but I will talk about season 7 a little bit later. Anyways, now let's go on to season 4. So, season 4 is my worst, my least favorite season, and here are my reasons why. So, the good stuff, obviously, there are a few good things that, like, the original A-Troopers left, and they didn't let them keep on going, like they're gone, and that was nice, like, they send them off. I really liked Michelle's personality, as I said again, like as a rebel, and it fits in with the storyline, like rebellious, because in season 3 she was overlooked as an alternate, and then it was like good because then it suits herself because she was trying to like fit back in and prove herself to the team again. One other thing is that I really liked how when she found out about Ralphie, Riley and Alfie, like she told Riley the true facts and she didn't just take Riley's side. She was like actually saying like this, like you hurt James, and like saying all of the true facts. Very realistic. Another thing that was very realistic is, as I said, like how she was trying to prove herself again at regionals, how she fainted, which was very like realistic, because if you're working yourself that hard, it was very realistic. Also about the Ralphie triangle, the James, Riley, Alfie triangle, I think James was the best person in that triangle because James was the most realistic. He stayed in character and he didn't just blow up at Alfie. He's very calm and tried to work things out. Now, a lot of things, I have a lot of list things that of why I didn't like it. So first of all, in the scene where Michelle is dancing with herself, that didn't really make sense. Like Michelle dancing with herself, she could have just done a solo. That was pretty like sad and not like so upbeat. There's also repeating plots again. Noah hiding his back injury, Rochelle hiding her hip injury, Daniel hiding his foot injury in season 1. So it was it was being repetitive. I think the 0% Club was like a friendlier version, I guess, of the E-Girls. Like, it was very cliquey. Like, they could have just had their own friendships, all of them, but like not call themselves a group. Also, like, Eldon, James, and Wes should have been sent off. They shouldn't have been seen as much in the like seasons. So that relates to like Emily and Ella should have also been sent off. They shouldn't have brought them in as much. And like the season overall heavily relied on the old A-Troopers. So I just said, like Eldon, James, and Wes, like it was heavily relying on those age groupers. Now Noah and Amanda seemed out of character. It just didn't feel right. Like Amanda started dressing and her personality became soft and like mellow and stuff, and like I think it would make more sense if she was more rebellious, like alongside Michelle, because they were both alternates last year, so they want to prove themselves and earn their place back in the lineup. Now, Prince Alfie was also unrealistic, because if you're a prince, you wouldn't really be dancing on an age group in a recreational studio or competitive studio. Sorry, but it made no sense. Also, with Noah's injury, his spinal operation, you can't just dance right after an operation. You have to give it more time to rest. Like, he just magically became better. That didn't really make sense. I think Rochelle was very overlooked, and she should have had more like prominence, because like season 2 and stuff, we were all like, oh my god, is Rochelle gonna make it in age group? She really wants to make it into age group. But then when she did, it wasn't really celebrated. It was just like, oh, you're in age group now, okay. Like they should have wrapped their plot around a little bit more about that, how she's been trying, like auditioned like 2 times already just to make it in, and she finally did. But then like they don't really celebrate that. So one major thing I have to talk about is the alternate choice and the last group dance. So for the alternate spot, I don't think Cassie should have deserved it, because Cassie was there at almost every rehearsal, like working and stuff, whereas LaTroy was out in the farmhouse doing whatever he was doing with his dad for how many weeks, years, months, probably not years, but weeks probably. And then Noah was out with an injury, so why wouldn't Riley choose one of those two instead of Cassie? That didn't really make sense. About the alternate position and the last group dance. So the last group dance, Michelle came back and she just fainted. Like, you don't come back from being in like a fainting and automatically just come on stage and dance. Another thing that didn't make sense is that Amanda got pulled from the group dance at the end when Cassie was the alternate. Or like, even if Cassie should have danced, I think like LaTroy should have got put out, because LaTroy wasn't there for a lot of the rehearsal and missed a lot of things, which didn't really make sense, that whole overall decision of Riley's. And like Amy and LaTroy, like they could have just stayed really good friends. I don't know why they needed to become a thing. Also, for the like dance captain spot, I think that it was obviously going to be an easy choice to give it to Skylar, because like Rochelle, also, she didn't really act how she normally did, because in season 3 she read the dance captain diary and helped Giselle out with like trying to figure out what that problem with like Michelle training Giselle to like help her become a better dance captain and stuff. So Rochelle like knew, she read the dance captain diary and stuff, like she was all strict, and like that didn't seem realistic either. And Amy was acting really stupid. Like, she doesn't act like that. Like, really, her character does not really act like that throughout the whole season. It's just not. It's weird. It doesn't seem realistic either. And lastly, there's too much love in this season and not enough dancing. There's so many relationships and relationship drama. There wasn't enough like dancing and like all of that stuff, but that's why I will rank this as last. And please remember that this is my opinion, so you may disagree or agree with me, but please do not throw hate at me for saying my opinion. Comment down below any other videos you'd like to see. I will be trying to post every single week probably will not happen because I am in school right now, so I still have to do school. But I'll be trying to post every 2 weeks. That's my goal. My big goal is one every week, but I don't see that happening realistically. Anyways, please like and subscribe. It'll really support this channel. And I'll see you guys, I think, in about 2 weeks or next week. I will see you guys later. Have a good day.